Scott.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Kebetulan, Miss.
How are you?
Bukan, Miss.
That's good. Okay. All right. I would just like to ask if what are the progress for your research paper? Progress for your research paper? Anyone? Hello. By the way, I will not turn on my camera because I have internet connection problems. Okay, so I will just turn my camera off for now. All right. So Lagardis group already in chapter 2. Okay, that's good. Did I discuss chapter 3 already? Did I discuss chapter 3 with you guys?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll have chapter 3 this afternoon. By the way, chapter 3 is the very last part of our paper, and we will be discussing this one today. This will not take much of your time, actually. Okay, so we'll just start immediately. Now, for chapter 3, this is already the summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendation. Now, you will have your preparatory statement for chapter 3. Okay, so every start of your chapter, after chapter 1, you will already have your preparatory statement. Now, for the preparatory statement, this is just a statement telling your readers what your chapter is all about. Now, for the summary of finding, this is literally the summary of your findings. Now, the findings that I'm talking about here is your chapter 2, right? So Basically you are just going to provide the findings or the summary of your findings, literally the summary of your findings. You are not going to reiterate what you have mentioned word by word in your chapter 2, but you have to summarize the results and your findings each problem. Okay, so for example here we have the first problem, the factors students migrate to urban areas. That is your problem number 1. Your problem number 2 is the consequences or the challenges, and the problem number 3 is the coping mechanism. Okay, so based on your research problem, no, sa inyong statements of the problem, if you have 3 statements of the problem, you have 3, diba? In your chapter 2, you will also have to present your problems. Okay, now in your set of findings, you have to summarize your findings based from your research problems as well. Questions so far for summary of findings? Questions so far for the summary of findings? Again, this is just the summary. Okay, just the summary. Do not reiterate what you have mentioned in your chapter 2, because again, this is not chapter 2, just the summary. Okay, and let's move on to the conclusion. This is the last part of your paper actually. So you conclude based on your findings. Okay, you conclude based on your findings. If you still remember, the statements of the problem has 2 parts: the purpose statement and your specific questions. The specific questions are already answered in your chapter 2. Now, in your purpose statement, you will have to provide the description. No, remember when you had your purpose statement, this study aims to investigate, this study aims to describe. Okay, so if you're using these descriptions, okay, if you're using these words in your statements of the problem, specifically in your purpose statement, then you really have to tell us what have you discovered, what have you described. Okay, so provide us the description. Right, so that is the conclusion. By the way, the conclusion is only 2 to 3 sentences long, short. No, conclusion is only 2 to 3 sentences short. One paragraph, that is too long for a conclusion, by the way. Why? You already have your summary of findings. Therefore, in the conclusion, you'll just have to conclude everything. Right? Now, recommendation part, for your recommendation, of course, your recommendations will be based from your findings and your conclusion. You cannot recommend something to your readers if you don't know anything at all. All right. So provide practical recommendations only. At least 4 recommendation, maximum, not at least, but maximum of 4 recommendations. Okay. And for your recommendation, just plainly recommend. Okay. Do not advise, because advice is different from a recommendation, and implementation is different from recommendation. Say for example, you have an action, no? Say for example, you have a solution in mind to recommend for this specific problem. Please use recommendation, no? In the recommendation, you just have to recommend things. Do not implement, because implementation is another story. Implementation is you are the one who will conduct the solution to the problem. However, in the recommendation, you're just going to recommend it. Okay, now if you have a solution to recommend, no, to conduct, no, make sure you sound like you are going to recommend it to someone who can implement that solution. All right. So that is what we're going to have with the recommendation. Plainly recommendations, and make it is practical and doable. Right? Practical and doable. Use models such as may. Like the parents or family of the students may provide support. Oh, that is the recommendation. No, future researchers may have similar study or may use this as a reference to their future studies soon. Something like that. Okay? Use the models may. Ano sila? Questions so far for the chapter 3? None so far. Good. All right. Now for next one, no, I already discussed to you references. Okay. So basically, we're done with everything from chapter 1 to chapter 3 references. Okay, and I will be showing you another one which we will talk about the appendices of your research paper. Though these are just very simple na appendices, very simple appendices. Okay, I will share my screen. No, not this one. I will share my screen for a while. This one, right? So actually, this is the appendix right after the okay. This is the appendices right after the references. Now these are the things that will be included in your paper. Now the first appendix, okay, appendices is the plural form for appendix. Now for your appendix A, this will be your transmittal letter. Okay, this will be your transmittal letter, which is already available. No, you already have your data gathering. Okay, your transmittal letter, and then your appendix B is your informed consent. So just provide one informed consent. You already have this one as well. And then you will have your appendix, your research locale or your research environment. Please refer back to your methodologies if asa gi-conduct ang inyong. For your appendix D is your research instrument, which is your interview guide. You already have this one as well. No? So basically for the appendices, these are the documents that you prepared in conducting your research. Okay, these are the documents that you prepared in conducting your research. For Appendix A, transmittal, Appendix B, informed consent, and Appendix D, research instrument, you already have this one. All you just have to do is edit, then copy that one and paste it on your final paper. Now, our Appendix E, this is your transcription. That's why I asked you to collate all of your transcriptions in one file. This is for appendices purposes. Now, you will have to include all of the transcriptions that you have from participant 1 to 10, if ever you reach 10 participants. Now, for the next one would be the appendix, your coding table. So your coding table right now, no, your coding table will be included as your appendix F. Now, do not change your coding table, please. So whatever coding table that you have right now will be the same coding table you are going to paste in your final paper in your appendix F. Questions? Before I proceed to appendix G.
So far, ma'am.
None so far. All right. Thank you. We'll proceed to Appendix G. Your Appendix G would be your kaning documentation. Okay, for your Appendix G, this will be your documentation. These are the screenshots of you and your participant during your virtual meeting. So how many documentation will you have? The number of your documentation will depend on the number of your participants, of course. Okay, and the last one would be your curriculum vitae. This is the very last part of your research paper. Curriculum vitae entails important details of the researchers. You can see curriculum vitae on books. Okay. Now you will have your own curriculum vitae as well. Now your curriculum vitae would only present your full name, your address, and your email address, plus your 2x2 photo. For your 2x2 photo, since you don't have the IDs or the uniforms yet, you can just use a formal attire. Okay, formal attire for your 2x2 photo for your curriculum vitae. Make sure that your background is plain color. What I mean with plain color is that one plain color only. So if you have white background in your place, make sure your background is only white. If you only have available color blue, then make sure your background is only blue. No curtains, please, especially the flowery curtains, because these flowery curtains have mixed colors on them. Okay, so again, make sure the background is only one plain color. 2x2 photo, please. Formal 2x2 photos. Do not make a sign of a pose or a heart finger na sign. Okay, so take note, this is an academic paper. This is a formal paper. If you notice, these faces are very formal, though they smiled. They have a big smile on them. That's just normal. Okay, you can smile though. This is not the NBI clearance. Okay, so you may smile formally. Okay, take these photos as an example. These are the formal photos for student papers. Okay, white, no, I think this is gray or dirty white plain background. Okay, they are in their uniform with IDs. So for you, since you don't have uniforms and IDs yet, you can just make use of formal attires for now. Okay, make sure these are not taken using selfies. Okay, please do not take it using selfies. Ask someone who can capture you a photo, or ask someone who can capture a formal photo of you. Okay, now for the educational background, the first information should be the most recent one. Therefore, it's senior high school. Next would be the junior high school down to the last one. Okay, so that would be for the curriculum vitae, and this concludes my discussion for research. Questions? Questions?
And so far, ma'am.
Are we allowed to wear light makeup? Of course, you may. No? Light makeups. Of course, you may. Just for you to look presentable. Right? No worries. Okay. So, that's basically it for the discussion on research. All right. Now, I would like to ask, other groups, any progress in your research writing? Any progress in your research writing? Wala gihapoy progress?
Miss, na kayo pangutana, Miss.
Sure.
Kanang sa coding table ba, Miss, ba? Lain-lain nun mo na siya highlight, Miss, no? Kanang color gamitan.
Ay, gas naman siguro.
Which color? Asa man dapit malahi? Yes, it's correct. Dapat lahi-lahi na siya color, but my question is, asa siya dapat malahi?
Kada participant, Miss, lain og color, ana?
Are you sure it's kada participant?
Ay, kada question.
Okay. It's every question. Based on your statements of the problem. Okay. Any other questions? It's significant. Unsay kuan? Please expound. Unsa man significant statements? Katong na ay quotation marks na present? Is that what you mean? Hello? Is that what you mean, Misa? Kato lagi ning kuan lagi. Kato lagi ning sa sub-theme nga naay significant statements. Yes. Choose the best response from the participant pertaining that sub-theme. Okay? So do not present simang ha. Do not present simang nga significant statements. Say for example, your sub-theme is struggling with internet connection, but then ang imuhang significant statement kay wala siya internet connection kay tungod sa iyang location. Or wala siya internet connection kay guba ang iyang device. But then you have another sub-theme nga limited access to devices. Okay? So ayaw in taon pagbutang og significant ayaw in taon pag-present og significant statements na simang siya sa inyong sub-theme. Okay? Always refer to your sub-theme. Kung appropriate ba ni siya or sakto ba ni siya nga significant statements i-present. Kana siya. So whatever the significant statements found in your coding table or in your transcript will be the same significant statements which will be presented in your sub-theme set. Wala tayo i-edit dira nga part. Thank you. Did I answer your question, Misa? Did I answer your question, Misa? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? All right, thank you. Now, can you submit chapter 2, 3, and references this weekend? Friday. Can you submit chapter 2, chapter 3, and references this Friday? Anyone? Silence means yes. One P. D. Okay, thank you, Logarde. So when can you submit your chapter 2, 3, and references? Because we are going to schedule your oral defense. When can you submit your chapter 2, 3, and references? Last week of May will be allotted for your oral defense. So do not tell me to submit your papers on your fourth quarter examination dates, because that's impossible. Next week? What date next week? I need specific dates, please. I might consider the extension.
Friday, Miss.
Friday. Okay. Friday. Are you sure Friday? When are you going to submit your pre-recorded presentation? When are you going to submit your pre-recorded presentation? Here we are again with the silent treatment. Okay. Okay. So, ayun siya, right? So this is your oral defense and research paper evaluation. All of you will have this one. You will have your research title, your group facilitator, strand and grade, strand, and section. Okay. Part 1 of this paper evaluation is individual rating. Therefore, I will be grading you individually. Okay. I will be grading you individually for this one. No answer, no score. No presentation, no score. Right? So, in your individual rating, you have two parts, no? The individual presentation, which has the 5 as the lowest score and the 25 is the highest. But the 5 here is already considered the presentation in which it's not of good quality. Okay, but let's say for example the member is absent. Of course, that absent member will not get the score of 5, instead 0. All right. Now 25 will be the highest score for the individual presentation. I will talk about your individual presentation. Your individual presentation, you will have your recorded, okay? You will have your recorded presentation. Okay? You will present your entire paper without reading your manuscript or without reading your research paper. Once you read your research paper upon presenting your paper, you will all of the entire group will be marked 0, even if you performed well in presenting your paper. Okay? Unsa daw ng pre-recorded presentation, miss? Pre-recorded presentation is your recorded. Okay? That's why we have the prefix pre, because the recorded presentation is done before pagyud. Okay? The presentation is the presentation is recorded before pagyud. Before the presentation. Or the recording is done before the presentation. Pre here means before. Pre nga prefix is this means before. Okay? So, gi-record na ni siya daan nga presentation. Right. So, how are you going to present your paper? You will have to record yourselves. Open your cameras for the entire time, and your presentation will only last for 15 minutes. 1-5. Your presentation will only last for 15 minutes. You may end it early, but you cannot exceed 15 minutes. Demerits will follow, depends on the number of minutes you exceeded the presentation. Okay, so the more minutes you exceed, the more points for demerit. Okay, now during your presentation, during your recorded presentation, you will wear your formal attire. Make sure your environment is well lit, meaning hayag siya, that we can see your faces clearly, right? Do not read your research paper when you present. By the way, all of the members should have a part in the presentation. Why? This is individual. Remember, individual. Therefore, if you cannot present, you will be marked 0. And this is just part of the presentation, or this is just part of your, or this is just the first part of your oral defense. Okay, individual rating. So you will be graded individually here, right? Now, during your presentation as well, as early as now, make sure that you've distributed, you have already distributed, or the entire group already decided as to the parts, no, sa inyong presentation. Kinsay mo kuha aning rational studies, kinsay mo kuha aning rational theories, related literature and studies, kinsay mo kuha aning significance, scope limitation, something like that. It's up to you. Okay, you will be the one to decide who will have these parts to present in your presentation. Again, do not read, because if you read it word by word, you will really exceed the 15-minute na limit. Okay, and again, if I caught you reading, because it's evident in the video, the entire group will receive 0 for the presentation. Of course, you wouldn't want to sacrifice everyone. Lagarde, what do you mean entire paper tunga o namo? Of course. Kaya ako nalay sabot ani. Of course, tungaon ninyo ang entire paper, because because you have like 8 to 9 members in a group, and you are going to present all chapter 1, 2, and 3 in 15 minutes. And remember, chapter 1 has a lot of contents. Okay, the chapter 1 that we have right now is the merged chapter 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you have, for chapter 1, you have rational theories, related literature and studies, the problem, scope and limitation, significance of the study, research methodologies, research design, environment, instrument, participants, data analysis and data gathering procedure, and the last one is the definition of terms. And on your chapter 2, you are going to present all of your themes and sub-themes. It's discussion as well. And your chapter 3, you are going to present summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendations. Okay, so you really have to divide all of the contents in paper and present them, all of them, in 15 minutes. That's why if you're going to read word by word sa contents sa inyong paper, you will definitely exceed the 15-minute limit. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is whatever part you are assigned to, make sure that you make your own outline. Present the important details of that part you're assigned to. And you memorize the outline that you made. You memorize the outline that you made. Okay, because again, if I caught you reading, everyone will get 0. We are very strict with the oral defense because you did not have the mastery examination and quarterly examination for research. And the end of research is oral defense. So oral defense ra gyud ang inyong major exam for the entire semester. So it's only justifiable for us to be strict during your oral defense. Okay. So again, for your pre-recorded presentation or your recorded presentation, this is an individual rating. Okay. So guidelines for the pre-recorded presentation, make sure that you do not exceed the 15-minute limit. You are wearing your proper attire or your formal attire. You must look presentable. And at the same time, when you present your paper, do not read. Okay? Do not read, please. And make sure the environment, your environment upon recording your video should be well lit, meaning hayag, makita na mo imong now. Okay? And we can see you talk. Alright? We can see you talk. Make sure you have name tags with you so that we can identify kung kinsa among hatagan og 0, kinsay hatagan na mog 5, kinsay hatagan na mog 15, kinsay hatagan na mog 25. Okay? Make sure you wear your name tags. And make sure your name tags are visible. So, I don't care if ever igabot sa recording baliktad siya. Because anyway, we can just pause your videos and figure things out. No? All you just have to do is wear your name tags and make sure your name tags are visible and readable. Sa amo ang end. Okay? So another thing would be right after your recorded presentation, make sure that the rubrics, the authors here, the details here in the author's part in the rubrics will be filled in. Now, the order of the presenters here, or the order of the names here in the authors would follow the order of the presenters. Kung kinsa to'y nauna og present sa recording, mo to'y number 1. Kinsa to'y nisunod sa recording, mo to'y number 2. Kinsa to'y ikatulo sa recording, mo to'y number 3. Are we clear, GAS 1P?
Yes, ma'am.
How about the others? Okay. Misa, sa katong walay tabang-tabang, katong dili mo communicate sa grupo, ma'am, dili lang to na mo apilon sa pre-recorded. If they are not willing, don't, but still give them the assigned task. But if dili sila ganahan, then ayaw pugsa. Okay? And if ever dili sila mo join, Misa, and this is also for the other groups, if dili sila ganahan mo present, still include their names sa kinalasan na nga part. Okay? Include their names still. And if dili gani sila mo present, tell them this. They will be marked 0. Wala dyan ko ga-joke aning 0. Tinod-on dyan ako. Okay? They will really be marked 0. So expect a very low grade on their 4th quarter grade. Dili man siya mo-reply, mo sinra. Okay, bahala siya. But again, inform them these things. No? So it's up to them. But if dili gyud gihapon, thank you for reaching out to your classmates, but again, dili na ta magpugos. It's already their choice to fail. Okay? And also include them still in your contribution tracker. No? Katong mga way gamit ninyo nga mga members, still include them in your contribution tracker and rate them accordingly. Kung wala gani gamit, 0. 0, 0, 0 lang sa. Anong scorean man ninyo kung wala man kahay contribution? So pa may purpose na naskura ninyo sila o masiri contribution. Okay? Kana siya. So if ever nakapasar pa pag third quarter, basin day makasummer na nakaron. No? So sige lang. Wala tayo pong sanay. Because you're already grade 11. My God. Okay. Questions for your individual presentation. Questions for your individual presentation?
None so far, ma'am.
None so far. All right. Thank you so much. Now, let's move on to your quality of response to questions or your critical thinking. This is already during your oral defense date. By the way, your oral defense date will be on May 24 to 26. Unsay gusto ninyo? Hutdon na lang nato tanan ika 24 since you are my last class man, or tulo lang sa duha lang sa tulo lang sa 24 and then duha sa 26. Saman. Sapid 15 minutes, miss. Individual, miss. No, 15 minutes for the entire group. Again, you're going to present the entire chapter 1 to 3 as a group. Therefore, you only have 15 minutes to do it. Dili siya 15 minutes per presentation per individual. 15 minutes per group. Here. I hope that's clear for everyone. Your pre-recorded presentation will be submitted on May 21. Your pre will be submitted on May 21. Okay, Ra? Because you will have your oral defense 24 and 26 months. So 21 is only justifiable for you to submit your pre-recorded presentation. That's 1P. Do we hear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. How about the others?
Yes, Miss Copy.
All right. Thank you so much. No? So, May 21, I will be expecting all of your recorded presentation. Okay, your recorded presentation will be submitted on May 21, anytime on May 21. And then when you submit presentation, you will also have to submit your oral defense rubrics, kanisiya, no? And make sure the names of the authors, researchers are already filled in. Ayaw into mo pag-upload nga wala pa ingan dere. Okay, if ever ingana gani, dili gid mo ka-appeal sa oral defense. So double check. Double check the files that you're going to submit. If nanabuningan or wala pa ba. Okay, if wala ganiningan dere, do not expect me na magtag-antagan sa inyong names even if naamoy ning tags. Okay, so this is your job, researchers, na mag-fill in ani, ang pag-fill in lang yun. No? So if ever na may mga members nga dili mo participate, walay gamit to, walay gamit since fourth quarter, include them gihapon. No, include them gihapon just for me to know kung asa sila nabilong na group, but still if ever dili gyud sila, no, I will mark them 0. If ever dili sila mo present, I will mark them 0. And if dili sila mo tungasad sa oral defense on May 24 and 26, of course, they will still get 0. Absent man sila. Okay? Kanara siya. All right. So your your oral defense will be on the 24 and 26. Questions?
None so far, ma'am.
All right. How about the others? Questions?
None so far.
None so far. 400 na? All right.
Sige. Any clarifications?
None, ma'am.
None po. Okay. Sige. I will just post lang sa group page, sa group chat, no? Sa group chat, mayors and vice mayors for the schedule sa oral defense. Okay? So I'm thinking we can extend up until 6 p.m. the 24th. Okay, I will be extending my time up until 6 p.m. on May 24 to cater 3 groups and 1 hour only for Wednesday, May 26 to cater another 2 groups. Okay, but for the names of these groups, I will just inform everyone in the group chat sa katong mayors and vice mayors. Okay, just to confirm. All right. If there are no more questions, again, you are going to submit on May 21 your recorded presentation, rubrics, and paper. Tulo ka buok ang inyong isubmit ig 21. Okay? Now, nganong tulo ka buok ang akong ipasubmit ig 21? So that I can distribute this to your panelist. Give me time to distribute your videos and your paper and your rubrics to your panelists. Okay? Weekend manggod na siya. So probably by Saturday ran ako na siya ma-submit. So if ever mag-late mo og submit, wala ko'y mahatagan nga panelist sa inyo ha, dili mo ko pwede mo panelin niyo. So, kin mo panelin niyo. Okay? So, please do consider these things. Now, 24 and 26 will be your oral defense. Okay? Hopefully, you can submit your entire paper before, on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, Ra? Monday and Tuesday, that will be the last extension that I can give you. Okay, Ra 1P, or you're going to stick with the 14? Okay. Thank you, Mabate. Last submission will be 17 and 18, but again, 21 you will submit your pre-recorded presentation, your rubrics, and your final paper for us to prepare your oral defense on 24 and 26. The oral defense schedule will follow our research time, 4:30 to 5:30. However, dili ta maka-follow strictly sa 4:30 to 5:30 nga schedule. On 24, because I will extend 4:30, yes, because I will extend 30 minutes to cater the last group sa 24. Pero ika 26, strictly 4:30 to 5:30 na lang ta. Okay, because 5 man mo kabuk sa isa ka group. 5 ba mo or 6? Let's check. As 5 raman di ay. Kanara siya. Alright? Any other questions, clarifications for now? Silence means no. That means none so far. Alright, so since we are already 5:27 in the afternoon, 3 minutes before 5:30, we will see each other again on our oral defense date already. So no classes for synchronous time next week. All right. Goodbye, Guess 1P. Good luck. I know you can study your paper and finish your paper. All right. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye, ma'am.